Tonight on Bang Goes the Theory, I spend a night in the Science Museum, messing with people's minds. What you don't know is that you've all unwittingly been taking part in a little experiment that we've been doing for Bang. Jan builds a machine that literally knocks people off their feet. And Jem is in for a rough ride. That's Bang Goes the Theory, putting science to the test.
Welcome to Bang Goes the Theory. Now, we've had a pretty hot summer this year, which makes a nice change, and the entire nation has been sun worshipping accordingly. So I thought it might be a good idea to take a proper look at the downside, sunburn. What is it, and why is it some of us never learn and still end up looking like lobsters? Time to hit the beach. What is it about sunlight that makes us burn? Well, the culprit is UV light. We've all heard of it, but what exactly is it doing to our skin? Now, I'm a relatively dark skin, so I'm not that sensitive to the sun. I need a paler skinned guinea pig to show you the effects of UV light. No prizes for guessing who I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm just going to put a wee patch or something here.
I don't want to be waxed. I don't need a back
You're not going to be waxed. I'm going to protect all of Dallas's back with sun cream except for the taped up area. Okay, you're all protected. I'm just going to peel off the patch that was... Ow! Oh, don't be such a wuss.
Ow!
Right,
Ow.
That's you all covered except for that bit there.
Okay.
All you're going to do now is sunbathe.
Okay.
I'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Can you get me an ice cream?
No. UV light hits the DNA inside your skin cells, and this leads to damage and mutations. If the mutations happen in the wrong part of your DNA, this can lead to skin cancer. We all vary in our sensitivity to UV light, so while Dallas is sunbathing, I'm going to find out why that is. Now, lucky for me, having an Indian grandfather means my skin isn't going to burn like Dallas's. But what is it about my dark skin that makes it less sensitive to UV light than pale skin? The main answer is melanin. It's a pigment protein, and it's what gives skin its colour.
It's really cold. I've got a better idea. It's blooming freezing out there. Brighton sun's already cutting it. Bit of extra help.
Pale skins don't have a lot of melanin, so what Dallas is doing is a really bad idea. So how does melanin actually protect your skin? Well, it basically acts like a natural built-in sun cream. It absorbs the UV light and stops it from reaching that all-important DNA. And to show you, I've enlisted the help of Professor Birch Machin. Right, Mark, what have we got here?
Right, Liz, we've got some skin cells with increasing amounts of melanin.
Okay.
The one on the left has no melanin at all, which is a control. The one next to that has more melanin, just like the Dallas skin type. And the one next to that has even more melanin, and that's just like your skin type.
Okay, and what are we doing with these samples then?
Right, what we're going to do is take them, put them under this little mini sunbed here.
Very cute.
And actually find out how much UV light gets through, and we're going to do that by using this machine here.
So the first one, no melanin whatsoever.
Yep.
Okay, that measures 43.3. No melanin. The next one, Dallas's.
The next one is Dallas.
Okay, so that measures 31.2.
And then next is your skin type.
25.0. That is awesome. So skin cells like mine, darker melanin, more of it, absorbs more of the UV radiation.
Absolutely. So less UV gets through to the cells deeper down in the skin. It's kinder to your DNA because you get less damage.
Brilliant.
That's better.
So, the small amount of melanin in skin like Dallas's doesn't block out that much of the UV radiation, which means that after a few hours on the beach, signs of damage should be starting to appear. I feel a bit guilty now. Mr. Campbell, how you doing?
Am I done?
Yeah, is this sore at all?
Ow.
You are showing all the classic symptoms of sunburn. It's red, it's a bit inflamed.
Is it badly red?
It's quite red in the bits I didn't protect with the SPF, I have to say. And is it hot? It feels hot.
Yeah, no, it feels hot. That's why it's so nice when you put your hand on
Well,
it.
this is your body's reaction to damaged DNA. It's actually our immune system kicking in to remove the badly damaged skin cells. Blood rushes to the area to deal with those cells, and that's why sunburn is red, and also why it feels hot. The pain acts as a warning mechanism, telling us to get out of the sun. The sunburn will subside in a few days, but because the immune response may not be 100% effective, some damaged cells can remain, and it's these that could turn into skin cancer. We're going to find out how much of this long-term skin damage we've accumulated using a specialised camera.
Oh, come on.
That is proper
cheapest.
This is showing us all of those brown marks, which is ultraviolet damage, which you can't see in the main. You have 441 marks.
Are you telling me I'm not perfect? Is that the bottom
Not
line?
quite.
So in terms of people my age, 31, how am I doing?
When you compare to your peers, you actually have less sun damage than people of your age, which gives you a score of 63%. It's about
Above
5.
average.
Yes.
So all you need to know, isn't it, really?
Love that. Okay.
Can we do me now?
Come on then.
I want 80% minimum. I gotta beat Dallas, basically.
So you've got 35 brown marks.
Compared to your 441.
That's ridiculous. Well, you're younger than I am.
Yeah,
It's got to
but-
have something to do with it.
All right, fair enough. But what's my percentage compared to my peers then?
Comparing you to your peers, you do very well. You're at 99%.
99%.
Very good.
Perfect.
In your
perfection.
big old UV damaged face. That's pretty good going then.
Look, I'm a rugged man. I live the outdoor life.
You're a man.
I don't care, I'm loving my result. Melanin rocks. Given that melanin is so great, why isn't everyone brown like me? Well, it turns out that UV light isn't all bad. We need it for our skins to produce vitamin D. So the downside to having a lot of melanin is that when it blocks UV light, it also prevents vitamin D production. Dallas and I have had our blood tested to measure our levels of vitamin D.
Didn't feel a
You did.
thing. Did I?
Now, the normal range for vitamin D is between 75 and 200 nanomoles per litre. So I'm going to see what my levels are. I'm actually a bit nervous about this. Right. My levels are 58 nanomoles per litre. So I'm actually vitamin D deficient. Rubbish. Let's just see what Dallas's are in comparison. Oh, 81 nanomoles per litre. So he's well within the normal range, and he's so going to gloat about this. So basically, having a lot of melanin in your skin is a trade-off between being able to protect your DNA and being able to produce enough vitamin D to be healthy. So here's the theory. As our African ancestors migrated northwards, they didn't have enough UV light to make their vitamin D. So it's thought they evolved paler skins with less melanin so that the weaker rays could get through and they could make enough vitamin D.
I'm really depressed now. I was already a hypochondriac, and now that's ramped me beyond my normal hypochondriac
We're both in a
levels.
bit of trouble, but we can do something about it. I'm not happy about my vitamin D deficiency.
That's bad.
But you've got vitamin D deficiency. What does that cause? And
Well-
what can you do about it?
Well, the main thing I'd be concerned about is osteoporosis, which can lead to bone fractures in later life, or osteomalacia, which is like painful bones because you don't have enough minerals in your bone because of vitamin D deficiency. It's also, implicated with other health problems.
So do you need to get out in the sun more?
Yeah, I need to get a bit more sun on my skin in very small increments, doing it safely despite the fact that I've got quite a lot of melanin in my skin. I've also got to take supplements to right the balance and eat foods with vitamin D in it, like eggs and oily fish and liver, which I don't like, so I'll probably just eat chicken liver pate and get fat.
Okay.
I'm not feeling very well.
No, you're not looking right. But you'll live.
Stress isn't good either.
No, I know.
Dallas,
Yes.
you're kind of okay for vitamin D,
Borderline, but-
borderline vitamin D, but you've got skin damage.
Yeah, I did.
Do.
Basically, the secret is slap a bit of sun cream on and don't stay out in the sun.
Do you ever wear sun cream?
No, because I'm rubbish.
Well, there
but I'm
you
going to
go.
start wearing sun
Pull
cream
it out the
now.
bag. Wear some SPF.
Yeah.
And even though I've got a lot of melanin in my skin and I got a nearly perfect score.
I think you're perfect.
Oh, I
100%
love you.
perfect.
I still have to protect my skin. It doesn't completely protect me from UV rays, and that's really important.
OK, next up, there's some stuff that you know doesn't work, like chocolate teapots and square wheels. Or so you might think.
Ooh.
Have you ever wondered why a wheel's round? It's because a circle is the only shape where every point on the edge is exactly the same distance from the centre. So as this wheel rolls along, with the bike attached to the centre of it, it's very, very smooth. It doesn't go up and down as long as the ground's flat. But ride along a bumpy road and things change. Round wheels no longer keep everything attached to them at the same height, which means I waste loads of energy just bobbling up and down. Ideally, my wheel would constantly change shape to the contours of the ground, keeping the axle moving in a flat, straight line. And, as you can see, pneumatic tyres do effectively change the shape of the wheel as it rides, over smaller bumps. But even with tyres, round wheels are not the answer to everything. As you can see, when you hit the bumps, it's slightly different. Now, say I wanted to ride over logs without falling off. What I'd need is a wheel that could accommodate that changing height, so the axles stayed at the same height, and I could ride as if it was a flat road. Something like this. Okay. I wouldn't notice a thing. The cutout in the wheel exactly matches the shape of the stones and logs. This keeps the axle moving straight and flat, and the odd-shaped wheel rolls smoothly. So it makes me think, if you can make a wheel shaped to fit any road, could you make a road shaped to fit any wheel? Like a square wheel, generally regarded as the worst shape for a wheel. Now, the problem with a square wheel is, as you roll, the centre of it here goes up and then back down again. Which means if you've attached this to a bike or something, you're constantly trying to lift the bike up and then drop it back down, which is uncomfortable and would require a lot of effort. If I'm going to get my square wheel to roll smoothly, I'm going to have to make my road with a bit of a hump in it that makes up the difference between that kind of long distance between the axle and the edge and this short distance between the axle and the edge. So it's going to have to be a hump that's got a height that makes up the difference between those two lines. The difference between the two is 87 millimetres. So I draw two horizontal lines 87 millimetres apart, the height my bump needs to be. The other thing it's got to do is, when it rolls over that hump, the length of the surface of the hump has to be such that as it rolls over it, it exactly gets to that point again to start doing the next thing with the next hump. So if I measure the length of the side with a chain and find a curve with the right height and the right length, that should be the right hump. Obviously, my hump will be the other way up, but this is the easiest way of getting a nice curve. Now, if I cut that out and kind of make another one and wrap a road to it, I think there's a good chance that a square wheel should roll along that as well as a round wheel does on the flat. And if that happens, I'll be a bit like this. If you know what I mean. So, now to get building. With my design complete, it's time to put the theory to the test. Now I've got myself a skateboard with very square wheels and a ramp that's nothing like smooth. Let's see how they work together. I might be needing this.
Well, I thought you was winding me up when I said, what's this for? And you said, oh, we've got a skateboard with square wheels.
On a flat surface, the square wheels are useless. It's because for that to work, the wheels have to try and lift your weight as they come round. And on a bumpy surface, round wheels aren't much good. But square wheels on my bumped track should be a different story. It should roll fairly smoothly. See how this works? Couldn't be smoother. Well, obviously until I hit the flat ground again, and then it's far from smooth.
That is good.
So the optimal shape of a wheel is dependent on the surface it's rolling on.
That's sick. Yeah, no, I'm too old for that.
You're down with the kids, Liz. I like that. Those kids were well impressed with that.
Yeah.
They loved it. And it turns out that once you start questioning the shape of your wheels, it opens up a whole new world. What do you think these wheels are good for?
Climbing glaciers.
I'm going to say climbing those stairs that you built just there.
Oh, it's too obvious.
But they're sitting there. Of course that's
It turns out that a snail shell shape is perfect for rolling up one step at a time, and a double snail shell is even quicker. Watch this.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Very
love
nice.
it.
There we go. But the square-wheeled skateboard was always just a proof of concept.
Right.
Now I feel the concept is sufficiently well proven. I want to build a square-wheel motorbike.
God, I love
Here
you.
we go.
I love you, Jem.
This motorbike.
It's the classic Cub 90. It's,
Which,
you know.
You may remember it from your pizza delivery days.
I absolutely do, absolutely.
This is probably the most popular motorbike ever built, which is great, but the suspension's rubbish and it was never designed for what I intend.
Which was...
Well, I don't think the world needs a square-wheel motorbike. It needs a square-wheel motorbike that can fly.
Well, hang on a second. How are you going to land a square-wheeled motorbike?
I've been doing a lot of work on the takeoff so far, Liz, and I haven't really considered the implications.
Can I just check, are piranhas involved in any point?
I think when jumping things, piranhas are the traditional thing to jump.
Excellent, excellent. OK, well, Jem's going to be wrestling with piranhas. Time to catch up with Dr. Yan. In fact, this week he's gone a bit Jem. He's built a falling over machine, whatever that is, and he's taken it to the fun fair.
Almost every ride at the fun fair makes its money by mucking around with your balance. So I decided to have a go at making my own to explain exactly how the human balance system really works.
Very good. There are three things that help with your sense of balance. For a start, you might know that there's something in your inner ear that acts a bit like a spirit level. It's called your vestibular system. There's also a type of sensor called a proprioceptor. They lie mostly in your muscles and help tell you how your body's positioned. But actually, the most important thing is your vision. Thank you very much for volunteering. And what I'd like you to do is just to stand on this piece of grey foam here, okay, and look at the board there. In fact, look at the green spot in the middle. Okay, you can see that? Now, if you just, can you cup your hands around your face so you can only see the board?
Yeah.
You feeling okay?
Feeling a bit wobbly.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because normally it's really easy to see when you're standing still, but here all you can see is the disc, and that's moving, and so that makes your brain think that you're moving too, but in the opposite direction. So how's it feeling?
Not nice.
You know,
Are you moving the floor or something?
Oh my God, I feel dizzy already.
it's like when you're looking out of a train window at a railway station, and it feels like you're moving, but then you suddenly realise that actually it's just the neighbouring train that's started off.
Oh my God.
Gonna spew.
Whoa.
Yeah. Woo. Like that.
It's really bizarre, isn't it?
Yes.
So here, because your brain thought you were moving, then you were trying to stay upright, and you then tried to counterbalance by leaning in the opposite direction, and your vision completely dominated, yeah? It sort of overrides all of that and tricks you into compensating for a motion that doesn't even exist. That's just really cool. I think it's brilliant.
I'm bionic woman.
Thank you very much. You just step back here. So I'll have a chat with you quickly.
Hey, Liz, listen, don't say anything, but I think she has fallen for Jan big time.
Oh, you're very funny,
Big time.
Dallas Campbell.
Hey, now, you know I like a little bit of psychology.
Yeah, you're a deep thinker.
Well, thank you very much. Well, luckily for me, the Science Museum in London have given me free reign of the place. And with all those science enthusiasts milling about, what better place to mess with people's minds? I want to see if we can change the way people act without them realising they're being manipulated. And I thought I'd use as my guinea pig some of the unwary public here at London Science Museum. Tonight, the museum and its bars are open late, so the public are relaxed, their minds are occupied, and totally unsuspecting of our mental manipulation. And that psychological trickery begins as soon as they walk through the door. Okay, so the public are coming in through one of two security lines, and both of them are decorated in line with tonight's theme of Who Am I? But each one of those lines is subtly different. In one line, we've got stereotypical pictures of older sedentary people, and in the other line, we've got stereotypical pictures of young, active people. Will it make any difference as to how fast they move? Time to sit back and watch. Watching back the hidden camera footage, we time how long it takes people to walk between 2 points, having noted which security desk they came from. What we found was really quite astonishing. On average, the people who walked past the young pictures covered the distance in 18 seconds, whereas the people who passed the old pictures took 27 seconds. That's 50% longer. To rule out any effect that the guards themselves or the position of the doors might have, we even swapped the pictures around halfway through the evening, and the speed of walking swapped too. The different photographs seem to be the only reason why people on one side should walk any slower than the other side. This kind of effect was demonstrated by scientists at New York University a few years ago in a classic experiment. And they found that by triggering just the thought of a stereotype was enough to get us to actively adapt our behaviour in line with what that stereotype is. It's called automatic social behaviour. The idea is essentially that some of our behaviour is unconscious and influenced by the environment around us. Are we really that easily manipulated? Well, it seems so. Subtle influences can even make us part with our cash. Researchers at the University of Hertfordshire conducted an experiment in bookshops across the country with real shoppers and collected donations for the National Literacy Trust. In that experiment, they found that people donated more money when the charity box read "Every penny helps" rather than "Every pound helps." In fact, for every pound that went into this one, they got £8.86 in this one. So one word can make a big difference. But priming can also affect behaviour which is much more complex. It can apparently temporarily affect your intelligence, so I'm going to see if I can demonstrate that here by slightly sabotaging the Science Museum pub quiz which is going on down here. Now, the original scientific research of this was done in the Netherlands, and again, it's all about automatically activating our stereotypes. Those studies were done on individuals. I want to push the boundaries and see if we can prime groups of people all at the same time. So you all one team. I've absolutely no idea if it'll work, but I want to see if I can make all these people either smarter or a bit thicker. Like in those Dutch studies, some participants are prompted to think about professors and the qualities that clever people like that possess, whilst others are prompted to think about stereotypically less intelligent character traits. Then both groups answer a series of general knowledge questions.
What does the acronym WHO stand for?
As the papers were marked, we revealed our sneaky, underhand pub quiz manipulation. What you don't know is that you've all unwittingly been taking part in a little experiment that we've been doing for Bang. The idea is that by thinking about really clever people will temporarily make you cleverer, okay? And by thinking of less clever people may make you slightly less sharp than you otherwise might be.
You do still win prizes. I can see some very worried people. Chocolate. Yeah. You'll still win chocolates, okay.
Yeah. OK, but did it work? Well, our results were not statistically significant. Individual variations within the teams probably masked the underlying effect we were actually looking for. But we really had pushed the boundaries by trying to prime groups of people all at the same time. So whilst our results tell us little, the original Dutch studies, validated in peer-reviewed journals, found something very interesting. They found that members of the public who had been primed with the ignorant stereotypes scored 43%, whilst the people who'd been primed with the clever stereotypes scored 56%. A clear example of automatic social behaviour. The participants tended to conform to the stereotype placed in their mind.
It makes you wonder, though, how much more we're taking on board every day than we think we are.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's amazing. The annoying thing is, though, that it was going so well, and then the pub quiz bit of that experiment didn't quite go according to plan.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of science and, you know, it not always going according to plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, those experiments are usually done in sort of more controlled conditions, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the walking was superb. What was it, 1.5 times faster for one group than the other?
No, it totally worked. And there's been loads and loads of examples about how priming does work. So.
Really interesting stuff. That's it for this week, though. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. You told me the future of skateboarding was your fire extinguisher-powered skateboard.
That's true.
Dallas, I was serious too. I was young and naive. This is the future of skateboarding.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just getting a serious case of déjà vu. Good luck, Timothy!
I don't know. I think it needs a piranha.